Alrighty, guys, welcome to tonight's session, morning session, tonight, wherever you are, evening or morning. Hopefully everybody's been doing well. So it's currently lunch hour. We're currently just running, so we'll talk about kind of the morning session. We didn't really see anything in the morning, but I ended up taking 2 p.m. trades later in the day, so we'll talk about those as well, my conviction for them, why I took them. And then we'll talk about, of course, what we're looking at going into the rest of the week as well, because we do have CPI, FOMC going into tomorrow. So don't expect tonight's session to be too long since we don't really have much to talk about, just these 2 trades and then a little bit of tomorrow. And then, of course, any trades that you guys have taken so far today that we want to review or go over, feel free to post those as well. So going into the morning, I had, again, more bullish bias than I did bearish, but I was a little bit more patient to see what we were going to do at the open. Going into the open, I was kind of just watching, expecting the drawn liquidity to be the previous high that we had right here on NQ. We came down again, continuing to run. A London session, there was actually a nice short setup right here targeting this external low. We had this whole nice market maker sell model all the way back down to see these relative equal lows down here. And then from there, once we swapped sell side, we got all the way bought right back up to that buy side level. Again, as expecting, why did the markets move? In the morning, we had a nice push up, came back down, filled the imbalance, started to continue to move up again in the morning. There wasn't really any sort of trade that I really liked to see here. There could have been something on a smaller time frame. Again, looking back, there might have been maybe a little bit of a long scalp, but nothing that I had a lot of conviction in to trade. So it was more of just waiting and watching to see what the market was going to do in the morning before looking to see some sort of possible opportunity later in the PM. So again, morning, big move up, came down, big move up again, started to chop, again, slowing down here. Doesn't really look like a lot of opportunity here for me. One opportunity could have been here when we had this big move up, came back to this imbalance, and then here would have been possible long. But the only really reason why I didn't like longs here is because I wanted to see us retrace back into the 15-minute fair value gap, which we never ended up doing. So I was really waiting for us to rebalance there before looking to take any sort of long. We continued to get bought up, started to reach the high. Again, barely ended up taking that draw. So we're still, again, going higher. I'm expecting us to probably end up taking that right now or pretty soon. Ends up selling all the way back off, filling this market maker sell model all the way back down to this 15-minute fair value gap. So the first trade that I actually took was right here. And this short might have been an area where some of you guys were actually looking to possibly take longs. And I'll tell you why I didn't take longs here. And I actually took shorts instead. So zooming out, number one, to a 5-minute. Once we got this displacement move, and I was looking at ES as well, this gave me a lot of confidence that the 15-minute fair value gap was going to be the draw on liquidity. So you might say, the 15-minute is an imbalance. Again, why do markets move? Number one, hunt liquidity, rebalance the inefficiencies, rebalance the equilibrium. So when I see us come down and take this low, this is sell side getting taken, but most of the time, I know we're probably going to go back one more time to take internal because we're going to rebalance to the inefficiency. Again, zooming into the 15-minute or zooming out to the 15-minute, this is where I'm expecting price to rebalance to before going higher. So you can see we consolidate here in the morning, have a move up, consolidate, rebalance price, and then finally have that move that we wanted to see earlier, but it starts to become a lot more cleaner. So one thing that gave me conviction here is I waited to see if we were going to reject this area or not. So again, this is what I was waiting for. 15-minute fair value gap, get rejected, or the 5-minute fair value gap, get rejected, and I wanted to see a pullback to some sort of inefficiency. So we come up, tap the 5-minute, get displacement, pull back to the inefficiency, and I ended up buying the stops right here. We had these equal highs. Right when we tapped this and rejected, I entered in short, and literally like 5 seconds before we just dumped here, like, because my fill was literally right here, like this 367 area. I got a really nice fill on this. Like almost a couple seconds after I entered, we just automatically just dumped straight to that 15-minute fair value gap. But what I want to talk about is the extra confluence that I had with ES. Looking at the ES at the time, in the morning, we came up, swept the buy side level, had a big displacement through, the 5-minute fair value gap got ran through, and again, we came back and also touched that. So ES and NQ are both having bearish confluence at this point in time. We've rejected the 5-minute fair value gap, zooming in onto the 1-minute on ES. We come up, tap it, start to get displacement. At that point in time, I'm like, okay, I know at least we're most likely going to rebalance to the 15. Again, notice my PT here. I am not expecting a massive move. I'm not expecting to see an automatically sell off all the way to new lows. I'm only expecting to see rebalance to the inefficiency because that's what I'm confident in. I don't know if we're going to continue lower because, again, we know the draw on liquidity is still lower. So if I'm playing counter trend, I have to play whatever the internal model is. A lot of you guys will get stuck or over-focus on being greedy and expecting to get more of a move than the market is actually needing to do. Again, our focus is not making money. Our focus is to take trades that the market is confident in doing. What is the reasoning for this trade? If there is no valid reasoning for the market to go to where your price target is, all that's going to do in the long run is you're going to slowly start to lose conviction because you're going to enter in a trade, it'll work out, and you won't take profits, and then it'll start to reverse in your favor or reverse against you, and you'll start to question why it's not working. Again, you have to be focused on why the market is moving, what's the reason for my entry, what's the reason for my price target, and in this case, the reasoning for this was we rebalance to this 5-minute, we reject it, I'm expecting to rebalance to the 15-minute, and that's it. I'm expecting to rebalance to the 15-minute. So what should my PT be? The 15-minute fair value gap. No higher, no lower. That's only what I'm expecting to see. And notice, right when we come here, this is the low. I take my PT is literally the low before having this big move back up. So you have to expect what the market is most likely to do, and you can't trade off of your P&L. You can't trade off of greed, expecting or wanting to get a bigger move. You have to trade what the market is showing you, okay? That's one thing I wanted to touch on. So after that, at this point in time, I'm super bullish, right? Because external draw has still not been taken. I'm expecting to see higher prices. When we retrace to the 15-minute, like we've been talking about all morning that I've wanted to see, we finally do that. I'm expecting us to bounce from here and see higher. So now my bias is pretty bullish. So the first long entry was here. I actually didn't end up kind of noticing this at the time. Didn't really want to wait or take an entry here. I was more waiting for the second entry. Once we got a big move up, again, 1, 2, 3. Again, notice 3 drive here. 1 low, 2 low, 3 low before bouncing. Finally, we're starting to respect those bullish imbalances, get a move back higher, and I ended up taking a short right here. I ended up buying the stops. So my target for this, again, was not the high. Now, looking back, I probably should have left a runner just because the bigger time frame was really bullish. Again, after we've retraced to the 15-minute, there's really no point in us going lower, so I definitely could have left a runner for this. But my trade that I ended up taking here, and my entry, my PT, we'll zoom in here and talk about what I did, is I actually ended up just buying these stops. So we started to accumulate on a 15-second. Accumulating. We ended up having a 3-minute fair value gap that I really liked, that I expected us to rebalance to, and us to take out all those equal lows. So let me pull this over here. 3-minute, we had a nice fair value gap. This is where I was expecting price to rebalance to before heading higher. So zooming back into the 15-second, what I was waiting for is for those equal lows to get stopped. So I pretty much set my buy order at that low. So the first entry I had right here, I ended up adding half my size, and I added one more right there. But I added right here all these lows, entered right when we tapped in, broke these lows, got bought right back up. Again, external draw, or my internal draw is still here, in favor with the external draw. We had to move up, and then I added one more contract right here, and then of course moved my stop to the recent low, scaling into this position. And then again, the only thing that I was really looking to see here was this internal high. I wasn't really looking to catch a big move. I was just looking for what I was confident in, which is what this internal high was. So we came back, bought off those stops, got displacement up, took the second imbalance to add one more contract, moved my stop to the low, and then I ended up taking them all off on this internal low. From there, we ended up selling back off, again, probably stopping out all the traders at break even or people that were still in long from there. And then, of course, right after, continuing the move higher, finishing the market maker buy model. Again, I'm still expecting price to go higher, to go take out that buy side level. There might possibly be another long entry, but right now we're kind of just slowly moving our way up. So really the only way that I would take a long here is maybe if we have an SMT at one of the 1-minute lows or something like that. But I would most likely, if you're not in a long position here or you're in a runner, I would just say let the runner go to the recent high. We'll probably continue higher. If you're not in a long, I would say probably not chase it. Just kind of let it do its thing. But we should probably have a move up to take out that high right there. So any questions on those two trades that I took today? Any questions on the morning? Again, what I want to say too is this morning, completely patient, completely disciplined. There was no really good opportunity for me, at least watching this in the morning. There might have been a possible short back on this downside here, but I really only got enough conviction for later in the day when we were coming down here, and then also for this long side back up. This morning, again, looking at the morning action versus the PM, Here it's super slow, very choppy, not really going anywhere. When we look at the PM, it's a lot more clean, a lot more fluent, a lot more efficient, right? And unless we get that kind of action, there's no really reason for me to trade. And I guarantee you, most of the people that were trading here in the morning, if you won today, that's great. But again, make sure that it was a good win and not a bad win. But most of the people that probably traded this morning ended up getting stopped, ended up digging that hole for themselves. And then by the time that the PM comes around and we get better action, they're more scared to enter into an actual better setup because they're down on the day, right? It's always the psychological aspect of it. Don't dig the hole deep for yourself in the morning or early in the week and have to lose that conviction for taking good setups when they finally come to you, right? So any questions on those? I know. I'm saying PM because it's 7 o'clock for me. My bad. Just later in the session. Took this on the 15-second after respecting the 15-minute fair value gap, 1 minute fair value gap. I only played the internal model. Can you rate this? Yeah, again, good long. I like this too. Looks good. Pretty much same trade. This was the first entry that you could have taken, so this looks great. Took the same setup on the 5-minute, trying to avoid the 1 minute seconds chart. Yep, looks good too. Nice little unicorn. I can find a winning setup every day. Literally, even in the past 2 weeks, I was able to find 2 to 4 winning setups every single day, but I'm scared to execute on the live account. I keep telling myself that I have conviction with it, that I've already seen it play out multiple times, that losing is a part of the game, but I still struggle to place a trade on a real account. What would you do? Lower your size. That's literally the best. Again, the problem is you're afraid of losing. You're starting to build conviction, but you're just afraid of losing capital. So start building conviction with low size. Trade 1 micro, 2 micros, 3 micros, whatever you're comfortable with losing, just so you can get into the groove and the feeling of actually executing on your own ideas. Again, you shouldn't be focused on making money. Focus on building conviction. And in that way, you're not focused on losing. You're not scared to lose. You're just simply taking trades that you have conviction with. And that's how you're going to build confidence. And then slowly over time, you can up your size. But you have to build the foundation first. Yeah, that London trade looks good too, Yazi. Looks good too, Paulie. I tried to long the 5-minute fair value gap, but got stopped. What tells you to wait for the 15-minute fair value gap long? Because you're too zoomed in. This 5-minute, once this internal high is taken, again, there's no reason for this to hold. That's why I would never long up here. Even if you longed and it's ended up coming back here, I would still say it's not a good win, right? It's building false confidence. There's no reason for this fair value gap to hold. We're rebalancing. Again, why? Okay, think about it logically. Why would the market run this fair value gap to go here before going higher? Why? To generate liquidity. Why do markets move? Hunt liquidity, rebalance the inefficiencies, rebalance the equilibrium. This move, we have these stacked lows here. When we come up, this is the first swing low that we put in the day. Big move up. This isn't really a swing low. It's just the start of the 15-minute. Come up higher, come down, swing low, imbalance. All of the traders that are going to chase longs up here are going to get railed, right? It's going to become max pain. This gets ran through to go back to this low, stop out all of those traders that were initially long from the morning because they've been trailing their stops to the swing low. All of the stops get taken here, sell sides resting, rebalance to the inefficiency, again, hunting liquidity and rebalancing to inefficiency and rebalancing the equilibrium of the whole entire morning range. Then we're ready to go. Make sense? What do you think the draw is right now? Still higher. We're probably going to break out higher, but I won't touch the rest of the day. Again, the draw is new highs, which is this previous high here at 463. But since we took this internal high, I'm just simply watching now. because the objective has been taken for now. And would want to see more structure. Took the short to rebalance before going higher. Nice, brother. Looks good. All right, so let's talk about a little bit going into tomorrow. Again, this session won't be too long just because there's not really a lot to go over tonight. It's more of just going over the trades, and I want to talk about, again, the psychology, the reasoning for why market would do this, right? It's understanding that. Because there's mentors out there, there's people that you'll go to trade. Oh, shit, my MacBook's slow. That they'll say, oh, this happened, but they won't give you a reasoning for why the market is doing this. Again, I'm going to say it again. I'm draining this into your head. Why does the market move? Hunt liquidity, rebalance to an inefficiency, rebalance to equilibrium. Those are the three things that need to be in your brain every single day that you are looking at the market. If your trade does not have those things in confluence with whatever your trade idea is, then it's not a good trade, because you have to be playing towards why the market would do what you're expecting it to do. And again, also talking about today, this whole entire morning, we stayed on live for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I didn't see a high quality setup that I wanted, right? There's times when you will come onto the market, you won't see good setups, but the focus is not forcing those trades. You will get good opportunity when you are least expecting it, when you are not looking for it. If you come into the market constantly trying to get opportunity when there's nothing there, you're going to force trades, take losses, dig the hole deep, and by the time that the good opportunity ends up coming around, you've already lost all your conviction, so now you're even more scared to enter on a good setup because you've just been taking dumb losses. It's not too bad, Kyrie. I would have wanted to have a runner at that area, though. It's not bad, though. It's not bad. Again, good risk. You're fine. So I want to take another look at news going into tomorrow. I believe we have CPI. So we have CPI tomorrow, 2:30. I do want to trade tomorrow on live, but I am going to be, again, more cautious going into the day on CPI. I'm kind of, I don't know if we should trade tomorrow or wait for FOMC. Again, we have CPI and FOMC, so this is going to be, again, one of those weeks where we'll definitely have something happen. But it's more, again, playing that defensive side. So we'll see. I do want to trade, but we'll see what CPI ends up doing pre-market. And then I think from there is probably when I'll make my decision if we're going to trade or not, depending on what CPI does. But again, I'm expecting CPI to probably just have us have something like this and follow the momentum. That's pretty much it. So going into tomorrow, again, I'm going to say this. Internal high has been taken now. Again, like we've been talking about, all of the analysis that we've been talking about on the charting sessions has been pretty much spot on. This whole area, what did we expect this to become? Power of three. What do we want to see? Manipulation before having a big move to the upside. Exactly what we expected to see. Continuing to accumulate. I said we were going to see manipulation at the lows, most likely rebalancing to the fair value gap. Again, hunting liquidity, rebalancing to the inefficiency, before then having the distribution move up towards the external draw, aligning with the internal draw as well. So I'm expecting this to probably continue higher to that external draw. And then, of course, when CPI and FOMC hits, we'll see how that ends up behaving. It could go either way, but I'm definitely leaning a lot more bullish and expecting to see more of a breakout than I will be to sell back off. But again, we'll see. We won't know until we see it happen. So any last questions for the session? No, I won't be trading PM. Again, 2 trades. I'm up 2K on the day with low side. There's no reason for me to be. Again, the objective has already been taken as well. There's no reason for me to sit around and continue trading today. Much love, guys. Much love. Vlog should be coming out. We have it edited. It's either going to come out tonight. I'm hoping that we post it tonight or today. If not, tomorrow. But we have so much footage that we need to edit. It's just been hard because when you're in like a big city, you got to take the time to, because we want to put like a lot of effort into it. So we spend like hours editing just to make sure that we want it to the standard and like kind of the style that we've been wanting to see. So I'm guessing they'll probably, if not today, then it definitely tomorrow. But I'm hoping it'll come out today. We're almost done with this one. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow. But again, possibly I'll let you guys know depending on what CPI happens. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Peace.